Okay, people, so now it is May 10th, 2020. It's before I even start my day. I've been up for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours already. What I'm doing right now is I'm printing out the title of my videos, because ever since YouTube changed its format and removed the classic studio, I can't print out like I used to print out in order to keep track of my videos as they're uploading, because as you know, sometimes I can stack and pack them, right? Depending on what I'm doing during the day and how much energy I have, and just with the whole rigmarole, right? So now that we're past the dandelion part, outside of me, I haven't drank it yet, people. I'll let you know when I do, right? Because I'm trying to wrap my head around my life here, and, you know, I try and bring in a normality into my life, hence the dandelion videos, because under normal circumstances, you know, people do normal things like mow their grass, and, you know, they get to and make a nice meal and enjoy their meal, and, you know, they like to think that they can make future plans and work on those plans, or whatever it may be in terms of a normal life, unlike my life, where, you know, I've got stacks of paper over there and stacks of paper over there and stacks of paper over there with, you know, very important issues that are getting buried in these normal life circumstances of videos that I do. In other words, as I'm printing these out, you know, I have to go through, right? You can see how many pages I have to go through before I even get to Sierra's stuff, which is slowly but surely being buried in amongst hundreds of other videos, just like Uncle John's videos are getting buried, just like Andre's videos are getting buried, just like ShaMay's videos are getting buried. Well, that's kind of what's happening now with Sierra's videos, you know, because I can't make my whole channel, people, about the hardships that, you know, I'm having to face with my family. But then on the other hand, I'm not going to stay quiet either and let these people get away with it, because if they continue to abuse my family, which they will continue to do, people, because the government doesn't do anything to stop it. If anything, the government encourages it, because it is their government employees that mainly do it. And they do it for a profit. Whether they're taking out organs from the ShaMays, or whether they're taking out organs from the Sierras, or whether they're taking out the money from the Uncle Johns, or whether they're injuring the babies, it all boils back to it supports and props up the public union sector, which, now I have to can a turkey today. Okay, because my son did take one out of the freezer. I didn't know that. I figured that out yesterday. I told him that I needed one out. I said, wait, but I guess he took it out. So I'm going to pull that up today and go through it and probably can some. Because what's happening right now, people, is we're in a time warp. We're in a time warp where our governments, okay, governments are literally abusing us to the point where, you know, there's legal terms around preventing people from having access to certain things to sustain life. Employment is one of them, people. You wipe out the whole bar industry, the pubs, right? Anything that's involved around those types of public environments in a business sense, you've wiped out tens of thousands of people of their employment. That is a direct assault against the general public. If a person was to do that to their child and make it so that their child couldn't have access to good food, couldn't get access to shelter, couldn't get access to any of these things that require money in a Western world to obtain, those parents would be up against child abuse charges. How is the government any more different? Now, I am going to try really, really hard because I've been doing my research, people. I just don't know how to present it yet, and I can only spend so much time on fighting for the elderly because it's pretty apparent that nobody gives a shit too much about the elderly outside of after they're dead, let's lift up the mattress and find the money. Okay, that's what people are waiting for as these old people are dying. Because if they weren't waiting for the fucking money, they would be fighting, first of all, for their loved ones to be with their loved ones as they die. They would not allow the government to keep them out and do what they please with their loved ones without any witnesses or documentation or fact checks after the fact of death to ensure that their loved one was treated correctly. You see, people aren't thinking like that, people. And I don't understand it other than there's a whole lot of fucking Eleanors, Elaines, and freaking Carols, right, Mikes, the Duncan clan, the Debbies, that just waiting for that fucking money to roll in once that old person is dead. Otherwise, they'd be fighting. They'd be calling up the lawyers. They'd be banging on the fucking door, regardless of whether the door is closed, as it is right now, currently under the NDP, New Democrat Party of British Columbia, Canada. Oh, there's a new one. Instead of the BC Liberals, it's the New Democrat Party of British Columbia, Canada, has basically closed all the fucking courthouses. Why, people? So you can't fight back. Oh yeah, sure, you can put it in a Dropbox with a big lording fucking sheriff's over it. Just put it in a Dropbox. Don't take videos to document that you put it in there. Just put it in there and fuck off. This is a public environment. Fuck off. And then you can sit and wait. You can wait until the courthouse opens up. But at least you got a chance to fight for your loved ones. People aren't doing that. They're just taking what's being fed to them. Oh, Grandpa died. Okay, where's his money? And God forbid if the public guardian and trustee puts their fingers into it, because that family is going to have a rude fucking awakening when they realize they're going to have to go to court, which you can't get to at this point in time, right? As the public guardian and trustee sees the old person's assets while basically they were alive. You just didn't know it until they were fucking dead, and you were written out of the fucking will because that old person owes all this money to the government. Right, they gotta pay for the services, people. If they have the money, they have to pay for it. And if they're behind on their bill, the government's gonna make sure it gets the fucking bill before you do. Get the money, that is. So anyway, because there's so much I have to say and I don't know how to say it, so I'm just gonna spit out a little bit right now. We know I have to do a turkey, so I'll probably videotape that, because what that does, people, is it encourages other people to live a more normal life and think they can fucking get ahead, at least in a little way, if they've got 12 cans of canned turkey tucked away for a fucking cold day. Forget the rainy day. Plan it for the cold day when there is no fucking turkeys to be found, because we'll still be on this time warp bandwagon, right, as these government workers, because that's all they are, people, okay, enforce more draconian, heavy hand, I don't want to call them laws, because if you put it in the context of treating a child and depriving them of a means to get access to food or shelter or to have a future, that parent would be charged with child neglect. And that child would be removed from those parents. And since we can't remove ourselves from the government, they need to be removed, people, under that premise of they are abusing the public as if we were children and they were depriving us access to food, to shelter, right? To peace and liberty, to safety, and you can write a whole list of it, all right? People aren't doing that. Nope. They're stuck in a lull. They're believing the fudge numbers, which leads me to say, here's the numbers for BC so far. Okay? I did a little bit of old school math. You know what you call cross multiplication? Do you remember that? Cross multiplication? Well, I did a little bit of cross multiplication, and this is the numbers that I came up with as of yesterday, people. We had supposedly anything that goes on in the province of British Columbia, Canada, is supposedly. My videos are proof of that, okay? Supposedly, we had 129 coronavirus deaths. Supposedly, as of yesterday, May 9th, 2020. Right? Out of 5.2 million, 129 supposedly have died from the coronavirus, with the majority of those people being over 70 and above, right? Obviously, the older you get, when you get into your 80s and 90s, which some of them are dying, right? You're going to have a higher number of deaths. Because it's like any kind of cold. It runs through the environment, right? Okay, so you do a little cross multiplication on 129 out of 129 out of 5,200,000 people. What you're coming up with in terms of the ratio to death to that population is 0.0024. Okay, did you hear that? Point. So it's not even a whole point. It's 0, 0. It doesn't even fall into fucking registering on the fucking first 2 points after the 0. 0.0024. That's your ratio. I'm going to write it down somewhere so you can see it. And for that, everybody is being punished as they listen to this wicked doctor, right? Who isn't really technically a doctor outside of she's a Bill Gates facilitator to push forward universal vaccines, even though she'll get up on the podium and talk about, oh, well, this is BC. We don't enforce vaccines. Because, you know, the news media is making inquiries as if, you know, are we going to be forced to take the vaccine? Because they're using the coronavirus as a means to keep everybody on lockdown, even though by law and morality it is legally and morally wrong to do what these people are doing, right? If this was parents doing it to children, the parents would have lost the children, right? But because we're dealing with a cartel within our governments, okay, this is a one world order cartel pushing forward universal vaccines. And when you look at who's appointed in this province to be the minister, well, no, she's not a minister. She's the appointed doctor for infection control for the province, who has history with working with Ebola and things like that in different countries, right? And she's been to the States. So her alliance is with vaccines people. This is what I'm trying to say. Google Dr. Bonnie Henry. That's her name. There's not much written up on her, but there's enough to tell you that she's in bed with Eleanor Gilding. Okay? Because Eleanor Gilding works with a provincial immunization program as a manager to ensure that all these little care facilities and da-dee-dee-da-da get their immunizations on time. That's why Eleanor got away with what Eleanor got away with. The public union sector fucking lawyer, Andrew the Dragon, was protecting Eleanor for this future up-and-coming forced vaccine that they're going to force upon the public sooner or later if we don't fight back, people. Okay? And see this for what it is, because she's got Dr. Bonnie Henry in her pocket. They're like sisters, two peas in a pod. One can't do what the other one does without doing it together. They'd rather go on and on and on about 0.002% of deaths in this province than they would about 1,500.00 deaths in related to fentanyl deaths, and then what happens after the fact of those deaths in terms of illegal organ harvesting and that type of thing. You're never going to hear it come out of their mouths, because before that happens, they're going to make sure I go down. That's why you see, little by little, my family members fucking disappearing here. Disappearing as in they die. Well, Uncle John disappeared, right? Amari was injured. Which puts him at risk to organ harvesting because he can't run away from them. Right? Now, in terms of the public union sector, in ratio to the government, like in ratio to the I'm just upset. I'm so upset, people. You don't know how upset I am. In relation to the overall population, I have it written down here, but it's kind of dark, can't see. I know it's 8%. So out of 5.2 million people, 5,200,000 people, 8% out of all of that represents the public union sector, who take up at least, on the surface books, 57%. You heard that from me just the other day with, what was it, Illinois? Them sitting at 58 with that Republican, whoever he was, getting all freaked out about it because it sucks up all the fucking money as they stand there and demand more because they're the public union sector, right? This is what the BC Liberal government came into this province, and that's why he busted up a lot of fucking unions. Because there's a big problem coming in with the baby boomers wanting to use, you know, the best of the best when it comes to health care, with everybody wanting to live long lives as their pension plans are being paid out by the government. Because a majority of these baby boomers just happen to be ex-government employees. So on the surface book, 57% of your provincial or state budget, 58, 57%, goes towards all those pension plans, wages, benefit packages, blah, blah, blah. And then they have other portfolios. When you go into the books, you'll find one down here where it will say disability pensions, people. So they have a special portfolio to cover the cost of disability pensions, not to mention that 57%. Okay, this is what the government union public sector is all about. It's just a fucking money machine. And that's why we now have what you call illegal organ harvesting happening in the province of British Columbia, Canada, as we've got Dr. Henry fucking Bonnie sitting up there on the podium every bloody day going on about how the coronavirus is equal to smallpox now. Oh, it's like smallpox. Yeah, we're gonna make it where it's just completely eradicated off the planet of the fucking earth. Well, first of all, who appointed you that fucking mission? Because last time I checked, it was .002. It didn't even get on the fucking grid. But people are so quick to follow the old okie dokie because they're not thinking about their loved ones. Because if they were thinking about their loved ones, they'd be coming in with fucking lawyers, people. Even if the lawyers couldn't get through the door, sooner or later, if there was enough lawyers standing there banging on the fucking door saying, let us in, let us in. We are here to advocate for the old people. We are here to witness to how they're being treated. We are here to witness the facts. Sooner or later, the government is going to have to bend under that pressure. But no. The majority of the families are the fucking Eleanors in the fucking crowd. They're just going, yeah, just go die. I won't care how you fucking died because I know at the end of the day, underneath the fucking mattress, we're going to get a big fucking portfolio with this life insurance policy. And, oh, well, there's one missing, so we better call up so-and-so and try and find it because we know it's there because we know he worked with the government for 25 years. Why doesn't he have a life insurance policy? No, that can't be true. I know he had one. And Uncle John didn't have one because he canceled it. Ha. But you get the point. That's the only thing they were caring about. They didn't care about his family. They didn't care about him. They tortured him, people. You don't think these old people out here aren't being fucking tortured right now, wondering where their loved ones are? As their loved ones, oh yeah, poor daddy just laying up in there, nothing we can do, oh well. Okay, dad's dead now, where's the will? Where's the will? First thing that comes out of their fucking mouth. My thing would be, where's the lawyer? Where's the lawyers? We don't have lawyers out here. We have facilitators for fucking white criminal activity. Because if we had real lawyers out here, they'd be fucking fighting for these, what's going on. Instead, I guess they're trying to figure out how they're going to go in and out of the courthouse with their little fucking court cases, right? Being all big and bad, right? For the next 2 years, while the government fucking figures out how to bring in mandatory freaking immunization. Because this Dr. Henry is in bed with the Bill Gates fucking foundation. If she's been in Uganda or places like that where she's already been working on that stuff, people, she brought it back here. Okay? Because her numbers are fudged. Because if she was a real doctor and really fucking was concerned about the public, she'd be like, okay, now that I've got your attention, let's talk about the fentanyl crisis in our community and clean up the streets. Let's put the real crooks in jail. Oh, I hear somebody's talking about me. My ears are ringing all the time. Who is this person that keeps calling out my fucking name? Huh? Who is, oh, really? Oh, her. Oh, well, why is she so upset? What's bothering her? Illegal organ harvesting in the province of British Columbia, Canada? No, that's not happening here. She's not even interested in making inquiries. Because she's too busy rattling on about .0024 deaths out of 5.2 million people. Because she has, and this is the point, a political agenda that is lining up with every other fucking politician under this global, right, circle, right, bubble agenda that they have to take away your rights, right? It's okay for them to accuse you of child abuse, right? But it's not okay for us to accuse them with fucking human abuse, because they're not only abusing children, they're abusing humans. Okay? And because their government, and somewhere in their little legislation, it's, well, you can't sue the government. Well, you know what? Fuck the government. Start suing them. Really. If fucking 10,000 people sued one of those bastards, I'd like to see the fucking judge deal with that one. I mean, he might be able to ignore 1,000. Dismissed. 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 Oh, more. Oh, dismissed. 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 After 2,000, it's going to be fucking hard for that judge to ignore what's up in his damn face. You can't take sticks and stones and those kind of things out into the streets, because you'll just get shot. They'll just fucking shoot you dead. Right? Everybody knows that. That's why they feel helpless to do anything. Otherwise, we'd go out there and fucking fight a real fucking war. Okay? The only war that you could possibly fight right now, and because you are in a war, people, is to start fucking growing some fucking hair on your balls and that type of thing, and just start fucking filing lawsuits against individuals who you feel are infringing on your human rights to provide nutrition for your family, fucking house for your family, you know, gainful employment. Nobody has a right to tell you what kind of fucking job that you can do when you've been working at that job for the last 40 years, whether it's a waitress, a bartender, a fucking stripper, whatever it is, people. A baker. Oh no, bakers are allowed to continue to work, because if you really starve out the fucking population, then it's going to be bad news. So anyway, this woman that's advocating for all these 0.0024 deaths in the province of British Columbia, Canada, is a very negligent human being, because every fucking day people are out here dying with fentanyl as their bodies are being pillaged for their organs, whether they're not addicts or whether they are addicts. It doesn't matter, because one man's junk is another man's treasure. And if people just want to sit there and, oh, I can't just wait, you know, they said I can't go see, I don't want to know, that's okay, oh, Dad's dead, oh, okay, now where's his will? Where's his will?